Dearly beloved, today we gather here to honor and pay our respects to Pinterest. It's been a long run, but finally she has been laid to rest. I used Pinterest for a source of drawing inspiration, and it can largely be held accountable for my drawing skills today. I saw thousands of picture step-by-step tutorials, as well as just so many drawing references. And over the years, I had noticed that Pinterest had gotten different. Some of the images were becoming AI. Some were just advertisement after advertisement. And I think we all know that Pinterest has had problems for a long time, but with the alleged buying of Pinterest by OpenAI, that was really the final nail in the coffin. So it leaves me with one question. What can be done when the virtual library of Alexandria falls? Well, I have a few options. The first place on our field trip list is the library. It's basically the equivalent of scrolling for hours in physical media, without the ads. To me, the library is one of the most beautiful concepts that could ever exist. A place where knowledge and learning is encouraged. There's so many different programs for all types of interests. And sometimes you can even see local as well as national art. These were all art made by local craftsmen and artisans. Regardless of what you might be looking for, you're sure to find it at the library. And libraries can be a great source of knowledge and inspiration. Libraries have a lot more than just books and art. There's also a circular section in most libraries that allow you to look at newspapers and magazines. One of my favorite things to do is take some of these magazines as well as a sketchbook and find some images that I like for drawing reference. There was so many pretty flower pictures, but eventually I decided I was going to go with something different. I found a really cool picture of a cat, so I got to work sketching it out. Another good thing about libraries is the atmosphere is just relaxing, and there are lots of very nice and comfortable places to sit. Here is my sketch. It's not perfect, but it's done. I went through the aisles and found a bunch of books, knowing that I'm allowed to check out over 50 books every month. My favorite genres are definitely how-to as well as just informational books about crafts that I like, but you can find books on anything. I would have checked out more books, but I didn't bring a basket, so I took all I could carry. If you're looking for object inspiration and actually being able to touch textures, just look at random colors, silhouettes, everything, the thrift store is going to be your best bet. And that's where we're headed into next. This one is especially for people who are interested in interior design as well as fashion, which I'm interested in both. But the thrift store isn't just a place for shopping. It can also be a place to window shop and gain inspiration. Clothing and items from all time periods and decades can be found at almost every thrift shop. You can also find a lot of empty scrapbooks here. And those are great for taking cutouts, pictures, quotes that you like, basically making a scrapbook version of a Pinterest board. And if you're looking for inspiration in the way of physical media, trust me, the thrift stores have plenty of physical media. Something I thought about when I was making this video was the one downside to this is you can't really see a lot of things from people that you know. But that's what real life is for, as well as texting, emailing, calling. And also, most of the stuff on these social media sites anyway are ads from corporations, and corporations aren't your friends. Am I saying get rid of social media or even Pinterest altogether? Absolutely not. But I do think it's good to have resources in your back pocket to incorporate, but also for when they finally get so unbearable and stuffed with AI and ads that you really can't find anything you're looking for. I do hope something changes that puts more protection for the users of social media instead of protections for the companies that make them. And while I can't promise that, I can promise you that this channel will always be 100% AI free. Inspiration can be everywhere, but if you want even more ideas, here's a list of places that I didn't have time to go to today. Going outside, if you're able to, is always a wonderful and great source of inspiration, and the fresh air can be magical. Now, I'm not saying you have to go on a hike. You definitely don't. And you might not even live somewhere close to where hikes are. But just even getting outside and essentially touching grass is important for us, and I think we need to do it now more than ever. And of course, no video that deals with inspiration would be complete without talking about my favorite place ever, the aquarium. Like the library, this is another really good place to bring a sketchbook. In the same school of thought as thrift stores, antique malls are a great place to find inspiration, especially with old things. Another great place to bring a sketchbook is, you guessed it, museums. And often, museums are very happy to let you do this. Museums can be for any topic, and many libraries actually give out passes to your local museums if they participate in that program. Expanding further, most museums also have free days for the community. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you're able to, get out there in the world and try to find inspiration. Now you're probably thinking, Athena, there's no way. I can't constantly go to all these places. But there's other options. Just hear me out. Look, it took so long to find any good alternatives that learning basic animation was actually quicker. But don't worry, I still looked anyway. The first one is Unsplash. Unsplash used to have a strict no AI policy, and right now I don't know where they stand on that. It seems as though most of the photos are still real, but these days you really can't be sure. I do know a lot of the digital art looks like it was done with AI, but again, I couldn't find much on this. The next place I turned to was Kara, which is basically like DeviantArt, but without the deviant part. There is no NSFW allowed on this website, and it really focuses on people's original drawings. There's not really much photography or anything else besides drawings, so if you are looking for art inspiration from real people, that's a good place to start. Flickr is a little bit of an odd one. They do have a paid and a free version, but it seems very community-centric. It definitely isn't as refined as Pinterest, but there are a lot of things on there. This site does not adhere to non-NSFW guidelines, so if you're not looking to see anything like that, please put up the filters. I would say Flickr feels a little bit more like a photo-centric Reddit than it does Pinterest, but I kind of like it, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of what it has to offer. I've held out on getting this app for so long, but I finally decided to get it for the research because I need to show you guys if it's any good or not. This is Lemon 8. I do have TikTok. I have been holding off on getting it, but I actually really like it. When you first log in, it kind of feels like how Pinterest is for the first time, and they let you pick all sorts of interests. While I was scrolling, I didn't really see too many ads, and I'm very happy about that. It does have the same interface as TikTok, where you can scroll through multiple things at a time, which is also similar to Pinterest. And there's a lot more videos than Pinterest, although Pinterest has started getting more videos as of recently. This one is great for people who like DIY, fashion. I would honestly put this as the closest one you can get. For an example, I decided to look for a vegan dinner because I wanted to know what I could make for dinner that night. And Lemonade did not disappoint. There is plenty of videos to look from. Honestly, if I had to delete Pinterest and go with any app and only pick one, this would probably be the one that I pick, just because it fits the style of the way that I like to look things up the most. There was also this weird one called Pepper, and it's a recipe sharing app. I didn't really quite understand it. It was very gamified, and I would have to look more into it to kind of figure out if this is something I'd want to use long term. but it just seemed a little bit odd to me. I'm gonna give it a chance though, and I think it's worth giving a chance. There's so many of these apps out here. I went on to the hot tags and looked up Bittersweet Chocolate Day. A lot of recipes came up, and it looks like the only ads are actual sponsored grocery store products, which was kind of funny to me, but I'm not mad at it. The last one that I have for you is Pexels. This one is definitely for more photography and is an excellent place to get drawing reference photos. I really like Pexels, and I'm almost certain that they have a zero AI policy. I wanted to draw a turtle, so I looked up turtle to see what reference photos I could get. All of the photos were super high quality, and I would have a very easy time picking from this list of photos. Pexels is a lot like Unsplash, where you don't even need an account to browse, but for me, I like having an account. Looking for stuff definitely feels limited, as they don't have all the things you might want on there, but as more users get on there, the better it will be. This is the part where I would recommend the app We Heart It, but it disappeared and I wish it came back. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that it helped. Please leave your recommendations in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, my friends, I love you so much, and I hope you have a day just as beautiful as you are.